Welcome back to another episode of College Football on the Bridge. Today we're going to talk about the Buffalo Bulls. They're going into the third season under head coach Pete Lembo. It's been pretty successful there. Went 14-11, 5-7 last year. Kind of a setback year last year, but he's been pretty solid there for Buffalo. This year's going to be interesting. There is a three-way battle for quarterback. Nothing's really been decided yet. You have Mason Cumbie, who's been there on practice squad, really hasn't seen a whole lot of game snaps. Really kind of unproven. You have a transfer in Elijah Holmes over from Wingate University, and then you have a true freshman coming in, early enrollee true freshman in Jason Wright. So see how that turns out. While that's being figured out, you do have junior running back Terrence Shelton Jr., who's a bigger guy. He's 213, 5'11". So you're hoping that you get things going on the ground, let the quarterback kind of get settled in, whoever that might be. You don't have a whole lot. You got some seniors on the receiving core, headlined by Josiah Gathings, but they have a 6'4" tight end. They have a 6'4" receiver in Chance Morrow as well, who's a senior. So they have some guys, some size, for a quarterback to be able to target a bigger receiver. But it's a lot is going to depends on how the quarterback situation works out and how they do and what would be their first year at Buffalo. Defensively, the secondary looks very legit. They bring back Keontez Bradley and Kobe Blackwell, both were starters last year. Got senior safety and Miles Greer, senior cornerback, and Oliver Bridges. They're rotational pieces, but you plenty of depth. You also have safety in, see if I can get this one right, Zay Jennings, who's coming over from West Virginia. So they got plenty of depth, a lot of experience. However, they are losing linebacker Red Murdoch, who was probably their best player. He was an NFL draft pick last year, and they were really hoping they're bringing in Virginia transfer linebacker and Stevie Bracey. They're hoping that he can kind of fill that role that Murdoch is leaving. He's been 4 years at Virginia, so hoping he can step in, bring the experience, and hopefully don't have too much of a drop off losing Murdoch. On the defensive line, they only have one returning starter, and that's Cornell Evans. He appeared in all 12 games last year, but see if he kind of steps up, as a experienced guy there. So you're coming off 5-7, definitely disappointing year. You have uncertainty at quarterback. You're losing, Red Murdoch, but you're getting some guys in to help. A lot of it again comes down to who's the quarterback and how are they. If you start with Jason Wright, the true freshman, getting him up to speed. How has he look, as a true freshman coming in and playing? But nobody really has a lot of experience at Buffalo anyway, and an FBS level. So it'll be interesting to see how that quarterback competition works out. See if we can look into seeing if there's any updates coming up before the season starts. I'll definitely try to get that out to everybody. Scheduling wise this year, you start off against Albany. You got at FIU, at Penn State, Robert Morris, Western Michigan, at Toledo, Massachusetts, Bowling Green, Miami, Ohio, Ball State, Central Michigan, Akron. You got some tough games in there. Obviously, Penn State. At FIU is kind of tricky. at Toledo. The Western Michigan's kind of the team to beat in the MAC. Albany, just because it's kind of a little bit of a in-state rivalry type thing, but you got to win those games. If you're going to take the next step up this season and get back to bowl eligibility, you got to go. You got to go beat some of these teams that you're supposed to go beat. So I'm looking for them to improve on that 5 and 7. A lot of it just comes down again to the quarterback play. If the quarterback is managing the game well and distributing the ball, the running game gets going. With the schedule, it's pretty manageable. So get to a 6 and 6, 7 and 5 season. I think people in Buffalo would be happy with that. Just coming off of the 5 and 7, kind of builds on some momentum that Limbo had in year one, and see how if he can continue to build Buffalo back up.